It was a cold and snowy night in December 1956, when Patricia and Barbara Grimes left their home in Chicago to watch a movie at the Brighton Theater. They were big fans of Elvis Presley, and they wanted to see his latest film, Love Me Tender, for the 15th time. They promised their mother that they would be back by midnight, but they never returned. Their mother, Loretta, became frantic when she realized that her daughters were missing. She called the police, who initially dismissed her concerns, thinking that the girls had run away or were staying with friends. But as the hours turned into days and no trace of the sisters was found, the police realized that they were dealing with a serious case of abduction. The disappearance of the Grimes sisters sparked one of the largest manhunts in Chicago history. Thousands of volunteers joined the search, combing the streets, alleys, parks, and fields for any clues. The media covered the story extensively, and even Elvis Presley himself made a public plea for the girls to come home. But all efforts were in vain. On January 22, 1957, almost a month after they vanished, the bodies of Patricia and Barbara were discovered by a construction worker near Willow Springs. They were lying on their backs at the edge of a ravine, partially covered by snow. They were naked except for their socks and shoes, and showed signs of severe trauma. The autopsy revealed that they had died shortly after they went missing, from exposure and shock. The police were baffled by the case. They had no suspects, no motives, no witnesses, no evidence. They questioned thousands of people, but none of them could provide any useful information. They followed many leads, but all of them turned out to be dead ends. They even consulted psychics and clairvoyants, but none of them could solve the mystery. The case of the Grimes sisters remained unsolved. But that was not the end. Near the spot where the bodies of the sisters were found, there was a small house nestled among the trees. It belonged to a family named Johnson, who had moved there a few months before the murders. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl, who were about the same age as Patricia and Barbara. The Johnsons were shocked and saddened by the discovery. They felt sorry for the Grimes family and wondered who could have done such a terrible thing. They tried to resume their normal lives, but soon they realized that something was wrong. They started to hear strange noises at night, like footsteps, whispers, and cries. They felt cold spots in their house and saw shadows moving in the corners. They smelled rotten flesh and blood and felt a presence watching them. They had nightmares of 2 girls with pale skin and dark eyes, begging for help. They became convinced that their house was haunted by the ghosts of the Grimes sisters, who were angry and restless. They tried to ignore them, but the hauntings became more intense and violent. They heard loud bangs on their doors and windows. Their furniture was thrown around. Their lights flickered on and off. Their pictures were torn from the walls. They felt scratches and bites on their skin and saw bloodstains on their sheets. They were terrified and decided to leave the house as soon as possible. They packed their belongings and drove away in their car. They never looked back, but they were not the only ones who experienced the haunting. Over the years, many people visited the site where the Grimes sisters were found, either out of curiosity or to pay their respects. Some of them claimed to have seen or heard the ghosts of the sisters, who still lingered in the area. Some of them felt a cold touch on their shoulder or a whisper in their ear. Some of them saw 2 figures standing by the road or walking in the woods. Some of them heard screams and cries, or a song playing in the air. Some of them even reported being attacked by the spirits, who seemed to be angry and vengeful. They felt a sudden pain in their chest, or a sharp blow to their head. They saw scratches and bruises on their body, or blood dripping from their nose. They felt a choking sensation, or a burning sensation. They felt a fear that they could not explain. Some of them never returned from their visit. The case of the Grimes sisters remains unsolved to this day. No one knows who killed them, or why. No one knows what happened to them in their last moments, or what they felt. No one knows if they ever found peace, or if they are still trapped in their torment. But some people believe that they are still there, waiting for justice or revenge.